Welcome to the third and concluding segment of our video about our historic gathering on the 102nd anniversary of Our Lady of Loreto Church.
Trust us, we cannot overstate the importance and the value of having Frank involved in this. We have a very significant turnout from the Italian American community here, as you're seeing, because we are interested in this community, as we are making clear. Another distinguished leader here with us today, he heads the most important Italian Institute of Higher Learning. It's a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Anthony Tambori, who is Dean of the John D. Calandra Italian American Institute at the City University of New York.
Good afternoon. I think that anything of real significance that needs to be said has already been said, and to follow the two Shame cousins is a challenge in itself that's a little bit undaunting, as well as the other speakers. I love the idea that this campaign is being brought forward not just to preserve, but to preserve, learn from what this church represents, and to move forward. I also love the idea that this is a multi-ethnic struggle, and that it has brought together at least 3, if not 4 or 5 different groups to create this sort of new coalition that I would like to call the AIL, that is the African, Italian, and Latino Coalition. The symbolism of this wall that I'm looking at, where it says Dio è amore, Dios es amor, and God is love, is just symbolic and just underwrites it all, I think, of what this is all about. And with that, I just want to thank Charles Piazza, Arthur Piccolo, and everyone else who is involved in this.
Now I'd like to introduce John LaCourte Jr., who's the president of the Italian Historical Society of America.
Jane Jacobs, in her book about the cities entitled The Death and Life of Great American Cities. She was an activist, had a great impact on the direction that New York took in terms of its architecture and the projects that took place here. Had a very important vision, and that is the city needs to be mixed use. It can't just be all residential, can't be just all industrial or commercial. Everything has to come together, including the cultural center of that city. In this church, you have a cultural heartbeat that was created at the turn of the century, at the beginning of the 1900s, and is preserved and preserves a tremendous amount of Italian heritage and history, which is for the entire community. It's not only Italian, it's for everybody. I mean, Italian art is a universally appreciated art. Church, on the New York Times, there's a link where you can actually, it has a 160-degree panorama, and you can see the ceiling and the artistry and the statues. I mean, this is a museum. This is a cultural artifact that can never be replaced. You take this down, it's never coming back. The facade, the outside, the inside is a tribute to the human spirit. And to have this in the center of a community that is in its process of rebuilding, that is improving its housing, is bringing in new people and young people and so on, and to have them exposed to this kind of history right in their own community. Walk down the street, here it is. And to be a cultural center and a community center, it's involved in the community all the time, is an incredible resource. To lose it would be incredibly tragic.
We're also proud to have another representative, one of the elected officials for this area. He could not be here himself, but his chief of staff is with us today, Assemblyman Boyland. We have Ryan Hernan speaking for Assemblyman Boyland.
Good afternoon, everyone. As he just said, my name is Ryan. I'm here on behalf of State Assembly Member William F. Boyland Jr., and we're here to be and honor Our Lady Loreto on her 102nd anniversary. And we brought a citation to present to Ms.
I'd like to introduce Viola Green Walker. She's the director of Community Board 16.
Good afternoon, everyone. Certainly we welcome the support that we've generated this afternoon to preserve this building. Community Board 16 became aware of it from the efforts of Mr. Piazza, and we in this community certainly don't have enough cultural buildings. And with the efforts of the Italian American organizations and our elected officials, we are hoping to preserve this building and turn it into a true cultural environment for our community, as well as the construction of new affordable housing. So with that, I say that we are in support of all efforts to preserve this building. Thank you.
They have played an instrumental role telling the true story of this area, even before Our Lady of Loreto existed, and certainly in terms of its, as an idea, its construction, its coming into being, all of it. They put together a great 90-minute lecture, which we're not going to hear today, but for a few words to put us in the spirits of the day and give us a unique view of Our Lady of Loreto, I would like to introduce Mario Taglia and Marilyn.
And we do hope that our efforts come to fruition, and let's forge ahead.
When we learned about it, when we learned its history, we realized that this was something very unique that has to remain for this this community and for the city of New York.
Introduce someone else that has joined in and that has helped us in some meetings and discussions and spreading around the campaign here, and that's William Russo.
At large. And the greatest thing that I see today is a coming together, as Dr. Tambori said, of the Italian American community, the African American community, Latino community, and all other communities in preserving heritage, in looking back on our roots, and creating friendships that are so very important. The places where people mingle outside of the home are usually the church, the school, maybe in sports, maybe in the workplace. Here, there's an attempt by the community to deliberately create a place where all the ethnicities can come and mingle and network and get to know each other. And I can't think of a better effort to create a cultural or community center than the spirit that we have here today. And I want to commend Charles for his work in the community here and the Italian American community.
Thank you. I'd like everybody to meet the grandson of the sculptor of this facade here. The sculptor is Gaetano Federici from Paterson, New Jersey, and the grandson who came to represent his grandfather here is Tom Federici.
My grandfather was an amazing person. He did a lot for everyone, and I like to try to follow his legacy. In my powers, I will do it. If it's day and night, whatever we have to do, however many people we need to contact.
Support from New York State Senate, strong letters of support from New York State Senator Diane Savino. We have a strong letter of support from Andre Domino, who is national president of another important Italian, very important Italian-American organization, UNICO. And we have a strong letter of support from Dr. Joseph Scelsa, who is the founder and president of the Italian-American Museum in New York. We will not bother reading those letters. I think we have heard enough glowing reports already. The one thing I would say in conclusion is that as glowing as been the words we heard today, I believe to some extent we may be underestimating the power and the value of this building in the future. This building, if we all work together, and we will save it, has potential of having incredible symbolic value on a number of levels, and to bring into this community, specifically because they want to be seen inside of, they want to speak, they want to perform, bring all kinds of world-class leaders into this community once we have fully restored the church. We want to conclude by, we created a 15-foot banner, and we would like to get everybody to stand up on the sidewalk and hold up, we'll handle a banner in front of everyone for some historic shots that hopefully will live on for generations.
And so we have it, just some of the remarkable highlights of a day to be remembered and treasured for generations to come. This 102nd anniversary of Our Lady of Loreto Church, a tremendous outpouring of support for the church and its preservation and for the future of Brownsville and all of Brooklyn. We will save Our Lady of Loreto Church. We must save Our Lady of Loreto Church for the present and for the future.